It definitely wasn't pretty, but a week 1 win is a week 1 win for the Bengals nonetheless. And in this video, I'll explain how Al Golden's message from all the way back in January definitely rang true this week. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and I think like a lot of you, when I was watching the Bengals week 1 win over the Cleveland Browns, I really did think the game was going to go a certain way around halftime. The Bengals offense had scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions in the first half, and the Bengals defense, well, it was kind of reeling out there. Joe Flacco had basically all day to survey the field, pick on Cam Taylor-Britt a couple of times, and find the soft spots of this Bengals defense that clearly just wasn't playing its best in the first half. And with the offense running the ball well with Chase Brown and with Joe Burrow playing seemingly well at the time, it seemed like the Bengals were going to have to win a shootout in Cleveland. And of course, that was not the case at all. Because when the Bengals had 7, yes, that's right, 7 total yards in the entire second half, it was all on the defense to put this one away. And even after Jordan Battle's impressive interception, even after Trey Hendrickson and BJ Hill getting into the backfield and sacking Flacco, I didn't have confidence in the defense being able to put the game away. And maybe that was because some of the stops were courtesy of drops by Browns players, but regardless, this defense still had a lot to prove to me. And I have to give new defensive coordinator Al Golden a ton of credit here, because even if they didn't put together 4 quality quarters of play here, he had been emphasizing all offseason about attacking the football and turning the ball over. And sure enough, the Bengals do not win this game without the interceptions from both Battle and DJ Turner. And these weren't clean interceptions by any means. They didn't run the route for them. They didn't step in front of the pass. But I think in a way, that only re-emphasizes how important Golden's coaching has been this offseason. Because being in position to make those split-second reactions on the ball and to make sure that you actually catch it, that's coaching right there. Like, you can call it luck. There's definitely a fraction of luck involved here, but being in position is the first step to actually making a play. And the awareness that they had to make sure that they reacted quick enough to actually make the play, again, that's coaching. And just for a refresher, so you know that I'm not blowing smoke out of my butt, this was one of the very first things that Golden said after he was hired to be the Bengals DC. Our number 1 job is to support our quarterback. And people are like, what does that mean? We've got to get the ball. That's our number 1 job. Give him opportunities. Not tackling, not sacks, not getting off the field. Get the ball. Ball disruption is the very first letter in his acronym of defensive coaching, which is BEST, by the way. Find the ball, attack the ball, get the ball. And that is exactly what both Battle and Turner did in those moments. And hearing that for what I can assume is the better part of the last 8 months, I think it had an impact. Coaching in the middle of the season is going to be extra important for this Bengals team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, as they're going to figure out, once again, how to get their offense back on track in the middle of the season. But I definitely think Golden deserves a victory lap here, because this defense is probably not going to put together a completely dominant game outside of some very rare circumstances. But being able to make game-changing plays at the right time, that is the recipe for winning. And it's a recipe that this team of the last 2 years just didn't have. So big congrats to Golden and his defense, because without them, the Bengals would not be sitting with a 1-0 record. And all that talk about turnovers in the offseason, well, it definitely wasn't just coach speak.